Okay, as we wait for the rest to join in, let's have a quick introduction. We just want to understand your educational background and work experience, if any. The trainer will be able to optimize this training more once he understands your educational discipline and if you have any works experience as such. So we'll begin with Kanish. Kanish, can you unmute yourself and quickly introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah. So my background is electrical engineering, but I have 2 years of IT experience. I worked with Cognizant as in manual and automation testing. And as far programming language is concerned, I know C, C++, PAR, TCL, and Core Java basics. Thank you.
Oh, all right, fantastic. Thanks a lot. Gautam, can you unmute yourself and quickly introduce yourself? Gautam, are you there? He's muted himself. Okay, we'll come back to you. Mai, can you quickly introduce yourself? I know about you, but just for the others and the trainer himself.
Yeah, hi. You can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah, okay. I'm a Java developer. I do have 6 years of experience from the banking industry. So I'm here to enhance my skills.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Monique, can you introduce yourself? Monique, are you there? We cannot hear you. Okay, we'll come back to you again. Nikita, if you can hear me, can you quickly introduce yourself? I believe Nikita is away from her desk as well. Okay, Rakesh, can you mute yourself and just give a brief introduction? Rakesh? Okay, we'll move on. Surisha, can you hear us? If you can you unmute yourself and briefly introduce yourself? Okay, I think it's mainly because you are not used to this application. Once you continue with the training, you'll get used to it. It's not it's not a complex application. Once you know how to sign in to audio, and once you understand how to share your screen, or rather look at the trainer screen properly, chat with everyone, it's a very interesting tool, and it's quite easy to use. It's user friendly. Okay, now before we begin, at the top of your screen you will find a chat box, which some of you have been using. Kanish has been using, Mai has been using, Sandeep has been using. So what I want you guys to do is, when you're chatting, right above the text box, you will find send to. Instead of XcelFrameworks or presenter or host, I would want you to select everyone, so that everyone can see what in case you are posting certain questions. I want everyone to see your question, so that when the trainer answers that question, it would make sense for everyone. Okay. And we would want this, training to be, or rather this session to be a lot more interactive than how it is at this point of time. So we would want you to interact a lot more. Okay. Whenever you have any question, just stop the trainer. We will go back and then we will go through it again. And in case you're not clear with certain concepts which he has just explained, we can always go back and we can have those questions answered for you. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I will quickly introduce the trainer. He will begin. And after which, towards the end of the training, I will quickly show you certain tools. And whoever wants to have additional, conversation with the trainer, you can stay back and we can entertain you for probably 10-15 minutes after the session is done. Okay. Now, the trainer is Niranjan. He brings along with him over 15 to 20 years of architectural experience, at the same time consulting experience. He has been in this training industry for over a decade now, and he is Java certified, he is Oracle certified, he is IBM certified, as well as Cloudera Hadoop certified. Okay, so under him, he has multiple certification, and on top of that, he has multiple skill set which you will find or which you will appreciate along the course of the training. Okay, and he is one of the few trainers available in the IT training industry who has multiple or diverse certification. And he himself trains for Oracle Life University. If some of you are aware, Oracle Life University is an online resource where Oracle trains their employees or their high-end clients. Okay, and at the same time, he also trains for Cloudera Online Resources. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on the baton to the trainer. He will continue. This session is more or less an introduction to Java. He will talk about the significance of Java, what it can do for you. And so some of you who already know a little bit of Java might find it a little, monotonous in the beginning, but just hold on. And towards the middle, he will do a lot more, which will make sense for you. And he will be able to interpret the goal and the objective of the training a lot better than what I can. Okay? All right, so please remember, just keep your chat boxes open. We would want you to interact with us throughout the entirety of the training. Let's make it a two-way conversation between you and us rather than the trainer, just going on with his presentation, waiting for your acknowledgement. Rather than doing that, whenever he, asks for acknowledgement, we would want you to be prompt when you put it on the chat box. And that way we can make this a lot more interactive and a lot more meaningful for every one of you. Okay? All right, so we'll begin now. Niranjan, if you're there, I think you're not the...
Yeah, I'm there. Can you just give me a brief about people who are there? Just a brief, Anthony. It will help me out a lot.
Yep. Okay, so I tried introducing everyone, but I think most of them are freshers, apart from Mai. Mai comes in with a few years of experience in the banking domain. Okay. 50% of coding, and the remaining would be, I would say, front-end responsibilities, if I'm not wrong, Mai. She interacts a lot with, in terms of requirement gathering, with the BAs, with other departments, and then, what she wants out of this training is to, build her coding skills, or rather build her coding skills so that she can be involved more with back-end development.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So I think you are the presenter.
I've shared my screen.
Yes, right. Okay. So guys, if you want to maximize his screen, you will see that there is an arrow sign right on top of the screen, right on top of his screen. You can use that and you can maximize the screen, or rather make it full screen so that you can see his screen better. Okay? All right.
Okay. Shall we start now?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now, if you see, objective of this session is to create a kind of synchronization between you and me, so that probably you can understand me better. And in case if you have any questions, you can come ahead and you can ask, right? Other part of this particular session is to make you understand what actually we are going to cover and why we are going to cover that, right? Because end objective is to ensure that everyone lands in a job. So understanding the content is very important, and then probably we'll start off with Java today, and going forward we'll complete Java, and then we'll go. Now if you see, basic objective of this particular course is to ensure that you are able to build, you are able to deploy, you are able to test, you are able to monitor, you are able to manage enterprise applications which are written in Java. Now these enterprise applications can be ported or can be deployed to run on mobile devices, or it can be on your web, right? So we are going to cover whatever required technology mix is there in order to ensure that you are able to work as a developer, you are able to administrate applications once they are deployed. In other words, you will be capable of contributing something or the other in entire life cycle of a particular product development, right? Fine. So let's start with a brief what we are going to do in upcoming 10 to 15 sessions. Now in this 10 to 15 sessions, our objective will be to skill you with Java as a language, right? To ensure that you are able to write applications using industry standards, conventions, patterns. Once core Java is over, where you will come to know about different aspects like multi-threading, concurrency, collections, which are core of writing logic, we'll move to building up enterprise application, where actually we'll discuss about what this JEE is, which was earlier called as J2EE. What all are the different components? Now, for example, you see web component, right? EJB component, web services, how to implement security, how to manage transactions in your applications, right? This is what is layer 2, which we will do. And then you will have a project. Post-project will go to layer 3, where we will provide you capability of administrating app servers like Weblogic, Jboss, and Websphere application server. Right? So as a developer, you should be able to not only develop applications and test applications, but you should also be able to deploy application in production. And from there onwards, you should be able to read the log and understand where problem is and how to troubleshoot that problem. Right? So that is actually layer 3. Post layer 3, you will be comfortable in understanding, building, and deploying and managing monitoring enterprise applications. Then we will try to make you aware about service-oriented architecture. Because when you are using Java language, when you are using Java EE components, actually you are building what? Services, right? So how actually you can align those services properly using SOA methodology, right? There we'll be taking up a product in order to show you how SOA works, and that product can be muled, right? Or it can be Oracle SOA suite as well, right? Depending on the market at that point of time and your job profile that we will like to create. Probably we'll be selecting one of the tools, right? Last one, which will be introduction to big data and how a Java developer can contribute in big data, writing MapReduce algorithms, or you say a bit of understanding about what role a Java developer can play in big data. So in short, you will have 5 different things added to your profile. One is programming efficiency in Java, which will be, you say, with industry standards and design patterns, and also you will understand what is the convention that is used in industry. Second is capability of writing applications of various types using Java, like web applications, mobile applications, distributed applications, and also implementing web services. You will understand what SOA is. You will understand what big data is and how actually a Java developer can contribute in big data, right? Apart from this, when we talk about different components, we will also discuss about frameworks and what framework fits where, right? So for example, web component, when we are developing, there we will talk about struts. When we are talking about database connectivity, persistence management, we will talk about Hibernate and JPA, right? When we talk about service layer, we'll talk about Springs. So all these frameworks are there, which probably will be building up.
You can hear the trainer, right?
We can building up going forward, right? So this is what, in short, we are going to cover in training. Okay. So any confusion if you have regarding coverage, you can definitely ask me now. Okay. I do understand that some of the terminologies you may not get it as of now because probably you might be new to it. But once we move forward, you will be aware about those things as well. Okay, you are having a bit of experience. I feel that you might have got what actually is the agenda that we are going to cover. Okay, fine. Now, since you are a fresher, let me start assuming that you are not aware about Java at all. And today's objective is to help you in understanding Java as a language. Okay, I will not talk about Java basics as of now because today's first session, so I want you to actually be fresh and start trying out your hands on your system when it comes to Java, right? So let's not talk about history of Java. Let's not talk about what is advantage of Java, right? What we will do is we'll talk about how to start writing code in Java, right? Because my first and primary objective is to ensure that fear of coding is removed from you, okay? Because it's my experience, and it has been with me as well, that I used to think that until and unless I will not complete the book, how I will write code, right? We do reverse engineering, right? So let's start talking about Java, playing with Java, writing code with Java, right? And then we will definitely start Java as a language from next session onwards, right? So today objective is to ensure that we all are able to understand how actually we can write code in Java, right? So ready? Fine. So let's start. Java is a language, and using this language, you want to instruct your computer to do some task. Any language will have two things. One is language will have a grammar, and language will have vocabulary, right? Whether it is computer language or human language, vocabulary and grammar is important, right? In computer terminology, vocabulary is keyword, right? And grammar is syntax, right? So if I want to instruct my system to complete my task, which can be as simple as adding two numbers, and it can be as complex as doing predictive analysis on a huge volume of data, you need to first know what all are the keywords in Java, means vocabulary in Java, and how actually you will write instructions following appropriate syntax, right? That's what is objective. Fine. Now, where to write Java code? Because C++ has its own editor, right? One feature which I will like to definitely start off with is Java is a platform independent language. Now, if Java is a platform independent language, it means once you write Java code, it will execute in similar way across different boxes or machines, irrespective of what operating system is there, right? Now, since Java is platform independent, you can write code using any editor of your choice. It can be Notepad, it can be WordPad, or it can be IDEs like Eclipse, right? IDEs like NetBeans, IDEs like JDeveloper. So you'll have lots of IDEs today which are there for Java. But initially, what I prefer is, I prefer using either Notepad or some IDE which does not have much support to Java. Okay, it should not that automatically your IDE is writing code for you, right? That is what is first step. So one thing that we came to understand from here is that we can use any editor in order to write our code. After writing our code, we can use compiler in order to compile the code, and then we can use executors to execute the code, right? So let's talk about what is life cycle of a Java program when we start writing, right? So what I'll do, I will not follow through this slide because I'll be using it from tomorrow onwards, right? When we have session, because it's more condensed. Before that, I just want you to understand the environment of programming and how actually instructions can be written. So I'll be just writing some notes, and probably I'll be writing some programs in order to make things clear to you. Okay, so let me start here. I'll just go and add a new slide. Okay, I was talking about how to start writing Java program, or let me say life cycle of Java program, purely meant for developer. You don't worry about what are feature of Java, all that I will be discussing, right? Now, first step is use any editor to write program or to write code, whatever you feel like calling. Ensure that you save it with .java extension, right? Save the file with .java extension. I mean, now you have a compulsion that this file need to be saved with .java extension. And this is what is your first step. Second step is compile your program. Now, in order to compile the program, you will need what? Compiler, right? And compiler that comes along with Java. Once you do installation of Java, I'll guide you on installation also depending on your operating system, right? But assume that you have downloaded and you have installed. What you have to do, you have to compile your program. And once you install Java, you will get a compiler along with it, and that compiler is javac. For Windows, it will be javac.exe. For Linux-based operating systems, it will be javac.sh, right? So compile your program using javac. Now, what happens when you compile? When you compile your code, javac actually creates bytecode. Now, what is bytecode? You can say that when we write this Java file, which is .java extension, it is in text format, which will not be understood by the environment who is going to execute the code, right? So it has to be compiled, and once you compile, you get what? Just remember this term, you get bytecode, right? And this bytecode is something which is code that can be executed, right? Now, who executes the code? You have something called as interpreter. I'm trying to simplify it, though more components are there that I will discuss later. Now, you have compiled the code and you have bytecodes generated, right? Now, please understand your bytecode will be with extension .class, right? So your bytecode will be stored on disk with what extension? .class extension, right? You will see that once we move forward, right? So you use any editor, save the program with .java extension, then you compiled it, and then once you compile, you got the bytecode. That bytecode will be stored on the disk in a file with .class extension, and then you have to go and execute it. In order to execute your program, you will be using interpreter, which again comes along with your Java installation, right? So if you have Java installed, you will get an interpreter, and that interpreter is Java. Java.exe in Windows and Java.sh in your Linux-based operating systems, right? So before you go and write program, you need to ensure that Java is installed, right? In order to install Java, it's very simple. Identify your operating system and then go to the Oracle site and download the right bundle from Oracle to download or to install your program, right? So in order to install, if you see here, if I go, I'll just go and write google.com, right? And here I'll write Java download, right? We can directly go to Java SC download, and here you will get operating system. You will get Java. Now, you see you are finding here components, right? One is JDK. JDK is Java Development Kit, and JRE. JRE is Java Runtime Environment. You will understand this much better again when we move forward. My objective here is to give you a startup in Java, right? And then move into inside Java. Now, you know what is JDK? JDK is toolkit for developers. If I have to develop Java program, I will be downloading what? JDK. If I just want to run Java program, I'm not going to write and compile Java program. I need to provide a runtime environment, right? If your objective is only to run Java program, not to compile it, you will go and you will use what? JRE, Java Runtime Environment, right? So typically on a developer's machine, you will have combination of JDK and JRE, okay? Now, what will not be there in JDK? In JRE. Now, please understand, if you are just downloading JRE, you will not get javac.exe. Javac.exe comes only with what? JDK. So you can just click on download. It will take you to a page, right, where you can go and you can accept the license, select the right flavor of JDK. Depending on if it is 64-bit, you can go ahead with this. Just download this exe and follow the steps, right? I'm sure most of you are having Windows, right? So you can download this. If you are interested in doing installation on Linux flavor, you can select any one of them and you can do installation, right? How many of you are actually using Windows? Can I just can you just go and give me the confirmation on the chat? Okay. Any one of you using Mac or Linux? Okay, so Vikas is using Mac. Fine, Vikas.
I'm using the Mac.
I'll be guiding you how to do installation on Mac also, right? Anyhow, you can just go and download this .dmg and you can follow the installation steps. Okay, but please ensure that you are downloading what? Java SE. Okay, we will be working on Java 8 because I have to introduce you with Lambda, expression, functional programming and all also because it's becoming popular, right? So I expect you to download this development kit, JDK, right? If you will download this JRE, you will not have compiler along with it, right? So remember, if you are downloading, for example, 64-bit Java installer on a 32-bit Windows machine, again problem will be there, right? Okay, so download the right one and do the installation. Next session, in case if you will not be able to install, I will show you, and though we actually have lab guides also which we will share with you, which will tell you how to install Java and start, right? So don't take any tension today. Today you just listen me, and tomorrow onwards we will follow appropriate step in order to move more in depth of Java, right? I'll even tell you what is there in JRE, how garbage collection happens, how memory is managed, what all different segments are there in Java, right? How actually memory mapping is done, what happens in case if an object is no more being referenced by others, right? So I'll be talking about those things also, but as of now, I just want to be pretty simple, right? So save the file and then go and write the file code. See, whenever we start talking, right, or whenever we talk about a program, you will definitely have a predefined structure of any program that you write in any language. For example, you might have gone through C. In C, you have what? Main, opening and closing. And inside that main, you will have whatever you want to do, right? Similarly, each and every language, whether it is C++, Groovy, Java, Grails, right, or Scala, whatever language you talk about, you will have a predefined structure of writing program, right? So I'll write here basic structure of a Java program, right? A basic structure of a Java program is very simple. Java is completely object oriented, right? So each bit of code in Java is always written in a class structure. For example, I'll write here class and assume that I'm writing test, right? You cannot write anything outside class in Java, which was possible in case of C and C++. If you see, I have taken here opening and closing brace, which marks boundary of your Java program. So whatever you will write now, you have to write within class structure, right? Fine. So you need to make sure that you understood Java is object oriented. Now, what is this object oriented? What all principles are there in object oriented? What is the best approach of identifying and moving forward to write best possible object oriented program? All that is part of our coverage. But as of now, it's just between you and me, we are trying to synchronize. So I'm writing here Java is object oriented, right? So everything should be there in. Second important property or feature of Java. Java is case sensitive. Now when I say Java is case sensitive, it means you have to be careful. Capital letter and small letter means different, right? Third important thing that you need to keep in mind is all keywords in Java are always in small letters. Right? And class is what? It's a keyword. Right? So if you want to create basic structure of your Java program, it's as simple as this. You have to go and declare a class. ensure that this class is in small letters, right? Give a name to your class, right? I'll just give a name to my class, specify the boundary, and inside this, you have to have a very popular method or function which you will find everywhere in all languages. And that actually marks start of execution, right? And that is main, right? So similar to C, you have a special function in Java as well, which is actually main, right? Just remember the syntax of this because we need to know many things before we talk about static and arrays, right? This is what is the boundary of this main. Now, whatever instruction you want to write, you have to write here. Right? So this is what is a typical structure of Java program, right? Whatever instruction you want to write that you want to execute, you'll be writing here. And this marks what? Public static void main. It tells your interpreter, which is your java.exe, which takes responsibility of executing, right? So when you will ask your interpreter to execute a program, it has to go and find the place from where it has to start execution, right? And that place is main, right? If you don't have main, your java.exe will tell, I'm not able to find main, so I will not be able to execute your program, right? So to mark starting point of execution of instruction, you can always go and have a main function, right? Syntax of main function you have to follow, right? So is that clear? Structure is clear, right? Monik, Kanish, Gautam? Sai is already aware about it, so I'll not ask her. Sandeep, Victor, Vikas?
It's clear.
Okay, good. Now, what next? Next is we will try out with some simple one-line statements and probably we'll try to understand various important aspects of Java. Okay? After writing code, you have to always think one more important thing, right? And what is that? You have to always think about what should be the name of the file, right? That is important. Naming the file is important in Java. Some people say that name should be entirely similar to whatever is name of the class, right? So let's discuss now with program what should be the name of the file. Naming a file in Java, right? What is the normal assumption or convention, right? Convention. Name of file must be similar to name of class, right? Specifically, public class, right? Let me follow here, only class. This should be the name of the file, right? Now let's go and write a simple program. I'm using here an editor, JEdit. Let's go here, file, new, right? And I'll write here. Be careful. Objective is to understand naming a file in Java. Now see what I'm doing. I'm writing here a class. I hope that it's visible. I need not increase font, right? And I'm writing class as account. Manage. Account managers. Or account management. This is what is the name of my class. Opening and closing. And now let me go and take that main method also. Public static void main. Now you will understand the string args main or static bit later. You just understand or take it as a mandatory method that you have to write. Right. Now in this what I'll do, I will write a simple statement that should print some message. Right. It's like hello world program. What I'll do, I'll comment. In Java, in order to print something, you will be using system. Don't worry, you just ignore this, what I am writing. You need to understand that this is the statement which will print something. Let me write here, hello. Right. Now, question is, what should be name of the file? So let me go and save this file. Okay, let me go and save this file. I'll just go File, Save As. I'm saving it document Java, fine. And I'll write here, see the name of the file that I'm giving. I'm not naming it as account management, okay? I'm naming it as test2.java because I already have test.java, right? And I'll save it. I'm saving it in user Hadoop documents Java, which is one of the folder in my machine. So this file is saved. Now what I'll do, I'll go to my prompt here. This is like CMD in Windows, right? I'll move to the folder where that program is. I think it's there in Java. I'll do ls. It's like dir. And here I have my test2.java, right? Now let me go and compile it and check whether it compiles or not. See, Java C test2.java, right? So I'm submitting my source code to be compiled. I'll press enter. If it compiles successfully, I'll get the prompt without any error message, right? Now when I do ls, it shows me that it has compiled this test2.java. And what is the name of the class file here? Account management.class. So if you see, whatever is name of your Java file, right? It is immaterial. Bytecode which gets generated is always with the name of the class, right? You see account management.class, and here you have what? Account management. It has not generated bytecode with name called test2.java. It means when your compiler will compile your Java file, it will go and see the class name, and then it will generate the bytecode where it will name the bytecode with class name, right? It's clear? Fine. Now I want to run it. In order to run, I'll be using Java. And please understand, you will be using account management, not test2.java, right? So always use the bytecode name which you want to execute. So I'll just go here and write account management. I will not use .class here. You need not worry because this interpreter will automatically go and look for account management.class. I'll just press enter and you see we are getting here what? Hello. Okay. So first fact that we can understand from here is name of the file can be different from name of class. You all agree to this line? With the with the exercise that we have done, you all agree? Sandeep, you have to agree to this. Yeah. Victor, Vikas. Okay. Good. Now I'm just making one change here. You see, what I'm doing is I'm writing here public. Anyways, now I'm making this class as public, right? I'll save it. I'll just go and save it. After saving, I'll go and whenever you are making change to your code, you have to recompile it, right? Now, first thing that I will do is I will delete this account management.class. I can delete rm. Right, and now I'll do ls. Account management class is not there. Now let me go and compile Java C test2.java. Only one change I have made, and that change is what? I have just made this class as public and press enter. You are getting error here, right? Class account management is public, should be declared in file name account management.java, right? So what is the assumption here? Name of the file can be different from name of the class until, or you say if there is no public class in that .java. And now you got a rule. And what is that rule? Name of the file must be similar to name of the public class. Okay, this is what is important to understand. Clear, right? Okay. Now let's deviate a bit again. I'll just go here. Let me go to my keynote. Yeah. And I'll go to my code as well. Now what I'm doing, you see, I'm going and copying this class and pasting it again here. And I'm creating another class called as account management tool. So this .java file has how many classes now? 2 classes, right? One is account management and second one is account management tool. And both classes are public. Now, according to you, what will happen when you'll go and compile? There will be a fight that what should be the name, because you have 2 public classes, right? So now if I ask you one question, do you feel that in one .java file you can have more than one public class? Straight answer should come, yes or no? No, you cannot have 2 public classes. You can have multiple classes, but you cannot have 2 public classes, because if you will have 2 public classes, what happens? Fight for the name starts, right? Because just now we have seen name of the file must be similar to name of the public class, right? So you have to be careful, right? You should have only one public class per Java file, right? So let me write here. One public class per Java file. You cannot have more than one public class in a single Java file, right? And if your Java file has a public class, it has impact over name of the file, right? So file must be similar to name of the public class. Fine. So what I'll do, I'll go and I'll change the name and I'll try. Now you have what? One public class called as account management and another public class called as account management tool. Let me write here a different message so that we can differentiate. I'll go and I'll save it. What should be the name of the file now? Account management. Why account management? I understood that. You know the reason now at least. So account management .java. I'll save it. Fine. So now this is possible. Why? Because only one public class is there, and in one .java file you can have multiple classes, but only one public class, right? Fine. So let's go and compile. I'll go and clear screen, and I'll write now Java C. Name of the file is account management.java. Just compile it. Once we compile, let me show you ls. You'll find 2 classes. One is account management.class, another one is account management2.class. Why 2 classes? Because in this .java file you have created 2 classes, right? So this is something which you need to understand, right? So you have this class which actually has created what? Account management 2 or account management class. So this class points to or is present in this particular bytecode, and bytecode of this is present here in account management 2. Okay. Yes, you can have 2 main tree in different classes. Okay. Each class is having its own main, right? Fine. So you have to understand in isolation that I have 2 classes. The objective of those 2 classes are entirely different, right? If I want to run, I'll just go and write bytecode that you want to run. If you want to run 2, just write account management 2, and it makes call to the main of account management 2. You can go and you can just specify the name of the bytecode that you want to execute. It makes call to main of account management, right? So for source management, you can write n number of classes in the same file, right? But at the end of the day, for each class, it is going to create what? 1 bytecode. Okay? Any confusion? Good. So what are the conventions that you have to follow when you plan what should be name of the file, right? Conventions says that name of the file must be similar to name of the class. But which class? Name of the file can be different from name of the class if there is no public class in that Java file. Name of the file must be similar to name of the public class. one file can have multiple classes, but only one public class per Java file. Okay, so I feel that you all are clear with this particular part at least. Okay. Okay, so any questions? Gautam, any question? Okay, you're not asking questions. You at least one question you should ask. Mai, you have any questions? Okay, fine. I'll feel better once you start asking questions to me. So do you want me to confuse you, then only you'll ask question? Okay, fine. Let's move forward. Just kidding. Okay. Now let's go and see some interesting things here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm writing here an expression. I feel we all know what is 100, right? We all know what is 0. And we all know here what we are trying to do. We are trying to divide 100 by 0. Now, since you are not asking question, I'll ask question. Sri, can you tell me what will be the output of this if I'll compile this code? First, whether it will compile or not. Second, if it will compile, what will be the output when I will go and make call to this particular class or execute this particular class? Sri, just interpret and tell me what will be the output. Hello. Gautam? Yeah, what will be the output? 100 divided by 0. Sandeep, what will be the output? It's numeric, right? No, Sri, we cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Yeah. It will throw runtime error. Absolutely right. Okay. Vikas is saying infinite. Fine. You cannot divide by 0. Why? Both are numbers, right? Absolutely right. When you write an expression, it's not necessary that all you say evaluators which are their part of software will be capable of interpreting that particular expression, right? So you all are right. If I go and I try to compile it first, I will compile it. What is the name? It's account management. I'll just go and compile it. Java C account management .java. So code compiled. It means there is no problem from compilation perspective. Syntax and all is correct. I'll go and I'll run it. Java account management 2. And one second, I have not saved it. I'll go and I'll save it. See, if you'll not save, right, it will preserve the previous bytecode. Now I'll try to run it. You see, it's showing. It is clearly telling you that divide by 0 you cannot do. Okay. Now, if I change the nature of data type, like if I go and write 100.0, which becomes now a floating point number, you'll find entirely different. I'll go and save it. And now if I compile it, compiles, and now when I go and I run it, it gives me infinity, right? Which Vikas already told us. So you see, Java actually handles floating point mathematics or arithmetics in entirely different way. Now, what is the reason of infinity? That we'll discuss once we are there in next session of ours, right? Not only infinity, you do have something called as negative infinity. For example, if I'm dividing minus 100.0 by 0.0, right? What it does, it gives us negative infinity, minus infinity, right? And if you see, Java actually tells you that now you are trying to test my patience, right? 0.0 divided by 0.0. So when this particular situation is there, when your Java interpreter says that now it's too much, I cannot interpret what actually you want, it tells you that output is NaN, which means not a number, right? So if you say simple statements are giving different values, right? So you need to actually be very careful, because If it is error or exception, you will get it in the log. But if it is giving you value like infinity, negative infinity, and none, probably it will not be logged if you have not enabled, you say, high level of log or detailed logging, right? So be careful. Before you write your expression, you check that that should not lead to infinity, negative infinity, or none, right? So this is what is something that I wanted you to know, right? So I feel what is the rule that you have to follow in naming classes understood to you. What is the structure? You are clear with one .java file can have multiple class files, but only one public class. And whatever is the public class, that is what will be the name of the Java file. Is this clear till here? Any confusion, you can ask me. Okay, I feel that Anthony, are you there?
Yes.
Fine. So what you can do is you can explain them about the blog, and we'll start anyhow Java with our first session. But before you leave, before you take over, I'll show the material that I'll be following, because it will be easy for them to actually understand. So you see, this is what will be the coverage in our core Java. We'll understand programming basics, object orientation, then we'll build applications. We will develop GUI, and we'll also see advanced topics like networking, multi-threading, and all, right? How to build your own server. Then second part is obviously JEE, which is understanding fundamental of JEE concept, and Java EE web application development, EJB application development, messaging. You'll know what is JMS, what is JTA, what is JNDI, and then we'll go to web services. Post web services, we will think or implement security. Once this part is over, we'll move to frameworks, where we will talk about 3 frameworks: Hibernate for database management or persistence management, Struts for improvising web application development, and then we will have Springs. In web application itself, for client-side page design, we will be using jQuery, right, as our framework for UI design, right? And this way you will ensure that you are aware about all these different approach of writing programs, right? Yeah, Anthony, you can take over from here now. Thank you guys. Thank you all.
Yeah. So just before you get off, Mai, do you have any question for Niranjan? Anything that you would like to ask as for the rest of everyone? Okay. So Niranjan, Mai is asking how much time you spend on Struts and web services.
Yeah. Now, if you see how much time you spend on Struts and all, we develop applications using Struts. Okay. So I'll be talking about now in terms of time. I cannot tell you now because different participants may need different amount of time, but typically we take 8 hours in order to complete Struts, where we use Struts too. We start off with what is Struts, how to write or wire a web application using Struts. We do discuss about interceptors, right? We discuss about localization and globalization, right? We discuss about managing navigations. We discuss about writing single page applications, right? We discuss whatever is needed from MVC perspective, right? So we have an application which we follow, which starts from login till detailed product description. So it actually covers whatever is important in you say in Struts, right? It gives you a good launching pad in Struts, Mai.
Okay, so is that means that as you introduce each application, I mean like each Struts or Spring, whatever it is, you will be introducing as a layer, like when you are introducing the web layer, you'll introduce Struts and will continue Struts. Then
Yes.
when MVC comes, then Spring will add into that, like that.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what we do actually, you see, web application development, when we start, we talk about what all are the core components. It's like servlet and JSP. Fine. We are aware about servlet and JSP now. Now what we can do in order to add more features to our application or make our application more reusable. So we come to know, okay, MVC pattern is what we have to follow. There I introduce you Struts, right? We complete Struts along with servlets and JSP. so that we can project you in market as a web component developer who is aware about struts, right? If I do struts at end, right, it will not make sense, because by the time we move to end, few people will forget what servlet and JSP is, right? So we try to ensure that we bind everyone and we complete web application development, which is powered by struts. And later when we go through service layer, we ensure that you are aware about writing web application, which is not only powered by struts, but also powered by strings. So it's a challenge for us to carry forward your entire knowledge, and we try to do that.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So for example, if we are there on, you say, Springs, I will ensure that you are not forgetting servlets and JSPs and struts. So I will make you write application which includes all four: Spring, struts, servlets, JSP, right? So in this way, I need to ensure that I'm not leaving any critical technology so that you'll forget, because it's learning experience that once we move further, all previous technologies people will usually forget. So I will ensure that use cases which I give you will drill you out or will force you to go back and implement things. Okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Fine, Anthony, you can take over now.
Yeah, Victor, any question for him before I let him go? The rest of you as well, any question at all? Just unmute and you can ask him while he's still here, and then I'll quickly take you through some of the support system that you will get, and how we will share materials, how we will share invitation. I'll cover all of those in the next 5 minutes. Before that, if you have any question for him, just let me know so that I can we can have that answered before we move on to tomorrow's session. Victor, any question for him?
No, I don't have a question for him.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Victor.
You're welcome.
Anthony, I'll be on mute.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, any other question for us? Kanishk, Gautam, Kanishk, anything for us? Okay. Okay. Mai, it's not exactly 1 hour. Today being the introduction, it's a little short, but tomorrow it will be about 1.5 hours.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So, Mai, I think I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Victor, I'll talk to you as well, or rather, Kani will call you tomorrow morning and discuss with you before the next session concludes. And yes, and for the rest, I'm not sure if Swarup is still here. Swarup is not here anymore. So what I will do is I will take your email addresses from Swarup, and I will send out the meeting invitation there. Okay? I will get, yes. Yes? Did someone try to ask a question? Okay, all right. Okay, so tomorrow what we will do is, the first thing we start this session, I will make sure everyone is subscribed to your respective classroom blogs. I will show you how to use it, and at the same time, I will show you how to access materials from our Google Drive and how to access the online assessment tool. This online assessment tool is to help you keep track of your performance, or rather keep track of how well you are receiving the training throughout the entirety of the of your training. I think there will be about 2-3 tests for core Java, and possibly another 3 or 4 for advanced Java. And for the first one, which basically covers the programming languages, probably 1 test. Okay, so you're looking at about 6-7 tests. So while when we continue with the training, we would appreciate if you read up a lot. We want to make sure everyone is deployable right after you complete the training. For certain people who are already coming in with experience, it will help you enhance your existing skill set and learn something new more. At the same time, get exposed to working full time as a backend developer. Okay. All right. Yes. So if you do not have any question for us today, I will. Okay, this training expects us to read. Mai, if the session is about 1.5 hours every day, I would want you to add at least 1.5 more. Say for example, it's Since 1.5, I would expect you to read at least 2.5 hours. It depends on the level of experience. For someone who's new, for someone who's quite young in terms of Java, I would expect you to, put in at least 3 hours outside of the session. But if you already have some experience, 2 hours is more than sufficient for you to, enhance what you have learned in the training. Okay. All right. So tomorrow we'll meet again at the same time, probably 15 minutes earlier, 9:30 p.m. EST. And we will have a proper session starting from tomorrow. I hope the introduction is perfectly clear and you know what we will cover in the training. And we have certain expectation out of you as well. At the same time, you should have certain expectation from us. And that way the training will be much more meaningful and you'll be able to get the best out of the training. Okay?
All right.
All right. So the recorded video of this introduction will be available tomorrow. I will show you how to access it in tomorrow's session. Every classes will be recorded live for you, and you will get access to the recorded videos to help practice, and at the same time review the classes every time, every day before you come in for the next session. Okay? Timings every day at the same time. Correct, Surisha? 9:30 p.m. EST. Okay? It will be shared through Google Drive. I will show you how to access it tomorrow. I don't have any of your Gmail ID so far, so I will need to collect my more or less yes. Okay, I'm scheduling it 15 minutes early so that we can wait for the others to join in and set it up. So that we don't start at 9:45 and end up starting at 10. Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so Sri, I will be gathering your email IDs, your Gmail IDs, specifically your Gmail IDs from Swaroop. If he doesn't have your Gmail IDs, I would request you to send him your Gmail IDs, or you can send it to me here. I'm just going to provide my email ID so that I can process your accesses to the material and the classroom for all of you. Okay. That's my email ID, and here is my phone number. Okay, so in case we do not have your Gmail ID, just send across your Gmail ID so that your accesses, your logins to your respective, test application or rather assessment application can be processed tonight. Okay?
All right.
All right, fantastic then. I'll talk to you all again tomorrow. I'll meet you at the same time.